Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Megan. I'm Taylor.
I'm Joel.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Matt. And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. So far this morning, we have been working on setting up the farm market. And as you can see, it is a gloomy, rainy day out here. First things first, this morning we had a school that just came and picked up a lot of pumpkins. We also have some more pumpkins that we had to get ready for another customer. Now the thing is, when it comes to picking out pumpkins for schools, you have to do your best to try and keep everything uniform because you don't want one kid getting a larger pumpkin than another kid. So that can become a difficult task. From what we've seen in our forecast, we're gonna be dealing with this weather all day. As a matter of fact, it rained all night leading up into this day. So it's very sloppy down here. Everybody looks like they're home though. Everybody looks comfy, and that's what we like to see. Right now, Daniel is taking care of the calves, and I'm gonna get started on taking care of the chickens. Now, when it comes to chickens, we feed our chickens twice a week, on Tuesdays and Fridays. And the reason why we're able to do that is because we have enough feeder space for the amount of hens that we have. And by having feeding time set up as 2 times a week, we save a lot of time, because then the only reason we really need to go in there is to make sure they have water and collect eggs. Now, because we have these chickens for quite some time, they start to get like really friendly with you. And that's why on the days where you're feeding, it's a lot easier to collect eggs, because a lot of the chickens like to sit right in front of you. They like to be pet, they like to be bothered with. So on the days where you're feeding, they're busy, and makes collecting eggs a lot easier. Well, that wasn't too bad. All the chickens are fed and the eggs are collected. That's a lot of eggs. Breakfast? Yes. And just like that, we've got all of the birds done, so now I'm gonna see if they've got the cows finished. Where were you? Feeding chickens and collecting eggs?
We had to move calves out of the small pens over into the bottom greenhouse, and when they got outside, they all scattered, took off running.
It must not have been that bad, because I would have heard screaming, because this is a screaming family.
Nobody screams here.
So it turns out they didn't get the cows finished in time, so I got the chickens and the birds all done way before they got the cows finished. It seems like they were waiting for Daniel to get silage for the cows, and then we could finish off the cows. It's just a rainy, sloppy day out here. It's a good thing we're not picking vegetables right now. I would not want to be picking in the rain. So Matthew was mentioning that they moved some calves out, and as you can see, they moved them into the bottom greenhouse. Now, we moved all of these guys over here because they're no longer on milk. They are eating grain and hay, and we needed to move calves out of here to make room for new calves. So we've got open spots over here. So some of the calves that didn't have a spot available,
He's a wiggler.
we're putting them in here. And again, the reason why we like having them in these smaller pens is because it's a lot easier for us to take care of their individual needs. Usually we go through taking care of the animals relatively quick. However, today, where it's raining and there's not much we can do outside, we're taking our time this morning just checking on every animal, making sure everybody has their needs met. Enough food, enough water, enough bedding, just so everybody's happy and comfortable. Now, the next job I'm gonna move on to is cleaning up down around back, specifically where we feed our animals. Now, from day-to-day feedings, we will sometimes get grain on the ground, and when we are super busy, we don't just scoop it up, we save it for later, which probably isn't the best thing to do. But anyway, what I'm gonna do now is sweep up around here and just try and make it look nicer. There we go, much cleaner than it was before. Now, as you guys know, every night for dinner, our family eats together. And on Sundays, the whole family comes over, my aunts and uncles, and the big family eats together. And on Sundays, because there's a lot of us, we'll have a big roast beef, we'll have a large lasagna, maybe we'll do a large chicken or turkeys. And Grammy has decided that this upcoming Sunday, she wants turkey. So rather than just taking one turkey, we're gonna get rid of all the turkeys. That way we can open up the chicken pen and make it a little larger. Now, we raise these turkeys specifically for us. Sometimes we will take one of these turkeys and give them as a gift to a family member after we butcher them. And butchering is something our family has done together for quite some time. So we're gonna start butchering today, and I don't feel comfortable showing it. It's just me personally. Maybe you guys would like to see that, but there's plenty of videos other places that you could see that. So we're gonna get started, and I'll see you after we're done. Hey everybody, we are all done and finished up. It went really, really smooth. We actually moved some of our chickens from that pen into the turkey pen because this pen was a lot drier. So we're gonna have to clean that pen out eventually, but just wanted to let you know we're all finished. When you have a family as big as ours, you need a lot of freezer space. And this was our largest turkey, a 31-pound turkey. Do you remember what the name of that turkey was?
Lefty.
All right, Grammy, what are we having for lunch today?
Steakums.
And it also looks like she's got some broccoli cheese soup here, which is really good on a rainy day. So we just got finished with lunch and it is pouring out right now, which is kind of a bummer. We had some plans to get out in the fields today. We had some things that we could get done, but we'll just have to get some jobs done back here at the farm market. Since we don't want to be out in the fields working in the rain today, we are going to be working on winterizing greenhouses. Now this job isn't too difficult. When the end of the year comes around, there's only a few things we really have to do. The first thing is, in all greenhouses except greenhouse number 5, the cafeteria, we're going to disconnect the water. And then the second thing is we're going to be pulling out these. These are fertilizer injectors.
And the purpose for that is in the wintertime, it'll just get cold enough to freeze in here. We don't want to break all the plastic pieces. So wherever's low and wherever water will lay, we have to disconnect.
And you can imagine when it comes to all of these greenhouses, there is a lot of piping that we have to disconnect just to make sure we don't have problems for next year. Before we disconnect all the pipes and everything, we're gonna wrap up all our hoses. That way we know where they are for next year. Because that's one of the most frustrating things when you're trying to get into a job, you're trying to get started for the year, and you think to yourself, if I would have spent 5 minutes last year and did this, it would have saved me a bunch more time. Alrighty, we've got the big red hose wrapped up, and Dad has got these 2 hoses over here wrapped up. Next, we're gonna pull up these plastic pallets and put them right here on these tables. These plastic tables help out a lot when you have plants sitting on top of them. Because if you put the plants right on the floor, even with this tarp that we have down, sometimes the roots will go through. And then when you're picking up your plants, you're disturbing the roots, and that's gonna hinder the growth. So that's why we have these pallets down, and we're gonna move them. Get all those weeds out, that's a pain. To get at our water lines, we have to move this table and slide it down a little bit because all our water lines are hidden underneath over here. You can see we dug out this hole with our neighbor's excavator, and that's the whole reason for that is because the water comes in from this side. So we just need to turn this knob to stop the water from coming up into this greenhouse. Now we like to keep this whole unit together. So all these connectors, we want them to stay with this injector. So we're gonna take off here, and we're gonna take off here. That way it's one whole unit.
Brian, I need an end. I believe this is the one you need.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you to the individual who sent this to me. I use it every day.
My dad has a nasty habit of just leaving tools out, and there was a gentleman that brought this for him, and he literally uses it every single day.
Okay, go ahead. Did you turn the water off? He was supposed to.
That's just water that's draining down. Calm yourself.
Does your safety latch need WD-40, Brian?
My new safety latches. They work every year. They'll be right here next year when I need them.
And right here is our fertilizer injector. The water runs through it. It injects the fertilizer into the water that we use on our plants, and we're able to fertilize this entire greenhouse with just this little tool right here. Now that we've got our water disconnected and we've got our fertilizer injector removed, all we need to do is walk the greenhouse and make sure we have no low-lying areas. Because even though this greenhouse is meant to stay warm, when it's really, really cold out in the months of like February and January, these pipes along here could easily burst if water is sitting in them. So what we do is we go through and open up every single one of these, and we make sure we have no low-lying areas. We just finished with greenhouse number 4, now we have to move on to our other greenhouses. Now all of you guys know this place as the cafeteria, and we have an underground water line that comes through to this side. However, there is an above ground line that comes from the other greenhouse, and that's also how we fertilize all of our plants in this greenhouse. So we're just gonna disconnect all of those pipes now. So tell them why this last greenhouse is the easiest to winterize.
The end of the water line.
So all we have to do is make sure all of these valves are open and they will drain out right here. Oh, some guy's got a big truck parked in the way here. Now you guys know that the girls had spent some time and cleaned this entire greenhouse. We're very happy a few years ago back we went and concreted this entire thing. It makes cleanup a lot easier. Now we just disconnected this line, and you would think that we wouldn't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. We are gonna have to put some insulation here. We're gonna take some straw bales and set it on top, because even though it's underneath the concrete, it still has the chance to freeze. So we're gonna be putting some stuff over top of it. And there we go, our second fertilizer injector is off for the year. And this is a brand new one, so we want to take care of this one. We're gonna put this up in the farm market. The other dulcitron, we went and put that away as well. These fertilizer injectors are very, very important, and we don't want them getting cracked or even any other form of damage.
Look at these fancy electric valves. Brian, when did you become so 21st century?
Thursday.
This is another thing we have to be very careful with our automatic watering system. We want to make sure all of the water is drained out of each one of these modules, because all we have to do is come down and flip a switch, and then it'll start watering everything. And to make it even easier on us, it's all connected to a timer. So all of these lines will come on all by themselves. This greenhouse is now all winterized. The only greenhouse left is the germination greenhouse. And if anyone was curious, it is still raining out here. This greenhouse is where all of our plants that we put out in the field and all of our plants that are sold get their start. Some of you may have never gotten the chance to see this greenhouse completely full, but you will, don't worry, it'll just be next year.
Well, we gotta drain the water out of the hot water heater.
Germination greenhouse is now all taken care of, so we're just gonna close it up and we're done in there.
Andrew, I can't believe it. Even in this weather, there's snakes everywhere.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What's going on in here, Grammy? What are you making?
You know, more red beets.
It looks like Grammy's got all the red beets sliced, and now she's putting the brine in them. And we're gonna take these red beets and put them out to sell.
We took out the window unit wherever we wanted to storing that thing. The air conditioning.
Oh, you got it out yourself. Wouldn't you know it, it is still raining out here. It's starting to get colder, but we did just get the farm market closed up.
These ended up in my backseat of my car, so I thought, you know what? I know who has eggs.
You know what helps you warm up? A vest.
My daughter-in-law has not made me enchiladas again, and it has been 2 years, 3 days, and 6 hours.
But how many months? But how many months?
Yeah, she just made them like in...
2 years,
you
3 days ago.
You can't even remember.
I can't even remember.
You can't
And
even remember.
You have long-term memory, and you still can't remember.
May or June, that's like 6 months ago.
Dinner will be late.
Oh no! This is what we're having for dinner. We've got cold slaw, we've got some Italian flat beans, and then we've got cheesy chicken bake. So looks really good. And I forgot the applesauce. Grammy made applesauce too. Now sadly today you will not be seeing Callie because she actually just got put down for a nap. Lauren is finishing putting her down for a nap. So I'm sorry about that. However, but you get to see me get ready to eat dinner. That's pretty exciting. But anyway guys, this is where we're gonna end the video today. We want to thank everyone for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.